Well, so Mama V said, Mama V, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. You remind me.
Yeah.
A sweet woman of mine I greet every morning. I come to say, Mommy, morning. It was morning.
Charlie, where did that come from?
Today I've not seen you around.
Yeah. Here? Yeah. The morning comes from here? Yeah, but that's our tradition, man.
Yeah, morning.
To you. It's been it's almost as if today wasn't a Wednesday. It's just like a continuation of Tuesday because, you know, the Bank of Ghana took over all the conversation.
Yesterday began with some dramatic events. I don't know. Yesterday we all came here very lethargic and all that.
Yeah.
And thought,
but we're still talking about the military, whether it was a military camp that was going to be set up.
And then I said, wow. We did it. I think sometimes when some of these things happen, we should bring Shatawale in to do his video on some of these topics.
Topics like what?
Like
what are you talking about?
US military base being established in Ghana.
Yeah.
For example, we have Shatawale, let's say, saying some derogatory words to the ambassador.
Oh, please.
Then the UniBank takeover, for example.
But they said they are not building a base here. It's just a continuation of a certain relationship that we've had.
Look, for me, I don't have any problem.
For the past 20 years.
I don't have any problem. If they establish, let's say, they go to the Western region area, enclave, and establish a nice base, it's possible some of we'll get the profits. Our areas will be fortified. If we have problem, just like the defense minister, they'll come in. And even some of our ladies could have some half-caste. It's a good thing. It is experience in the Philippines where they have a base.
God. You have such a corrupted mind, Roland.
Because you go to Ghana airport every time Ghana people are taking Delta Airlines.
Who said they would date the girls around them?
John F. Kennedy. Even when they deport 85 people, we are up in arms complaining. So if US people are rather are coming to our land, why should we be complaining? I don't understand Ghana people.
Listen, there are many angles to this conversation. I don't even know where to begin.
This is one of the angles.
But listen, other people have said that in places where they've got a base, like in South Korea, for instance.
But they have a base in the Philippines.
It's such a big deal.
We never had consistent terrorist attacks in the Philippines. So it's not true.
And it's a tourist site, really, that people go to South Korea and they can visit the camp, and see the whatever. But there's also the other argument that, so we've had a relationship going for the past 20 years. And so we do this exchange program. We have American soldiers come to our land and they go through the training.
It's not, the world has moved on.
It's not moving. The question that I think we're all asking is, how has that changed Achiase? How has that changed that small community? Yeah? How has that changed the economy?
It will trickle in many ways. The US gives us a lot of aid. They have
so there are so many angles to this. We're definitely exploring it big time here on the show this morning.
For me, I love the half-caste that will be born, if let's say in the Western region. What's nice half-caste around? Charlie, let's move on. A newspaper. Which newspaper do we have?
Let me just say that you can send me a WhatsApp message or a regular text message. The number will be on your screen in a while. Send me those messages. Let's talk about all the big issues in Ghana. What's happening with UniBank? We would send our cameras there this morning. We have a lot of conversations around there. We're told this is the first time that a bank has gone into administration. What does that mean in the first place? What would it mean to customers? Should you be getting ready to withdraw all your money, for instance? Are we going to see another takeover in terms of Ghana GCB Bank taking over UT and Capital Bank? Is that what is going to happen eventually? Or, like we've seen it happen elsewhere, when a bank goes into administration, after a while, when things get well and all, it's handed over back to the private person. Is that what we're going to see sometime to come? So all that we will talk about here on the show. But let's look at the angles that the papers are reporting.
Okay, so as you prepare to look through the news, I have this one from lawyer Victor Adaudu. It says happy birthday to David Annan of Teshi.
Is he in this country?
Lawyer Victor.
Yeah, it's been a very long while.
He calls me once in a while and says he wants to appear on the show. I said, you don't have time.
We need you here now.
We need him.
All right, let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the graphic, Ghana-US Defense Cooperation Agreement laid in Parliament. And we saw Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, our parliamentary correspondent, have a conversation with members of the minority and also the defense minister. We'll play back to you those later on this morning. But just a little question, I mean, what's the difference between this and Gidmo 2? I mean, it's interesting that we'll find our members of parliament. And I get confused. I want to get to a point someday where we will have majority MPs, when their party is in government, speak against policies, you know, like have a clear...
But this is not a bad policy.
No, I'm not saying bad or good, but they confuse Ghanaians. So it's almost as if you're NDC now, then you should be strongly against this Ghana-US, this new policy that is in parliament now. It's almost as if it's along those lines. So we don't get it. And I worry because I'm supposed to think objectively. But if people who are closer to the documents are arguing on NDC, MPP lines, then where do I fall? You get what I mean? Sure. Same way, Gidmo 2, you have MPP then in opposition, strongly against it. And we get confused. Can we begin to bring out the issues so that if your party is in government, irrespective of that, once you know your ideals don't agree with a certain policy, bring it out. But you have everybody just coil and it's just, okay, it's NDC, so let's all speak as our government. It's MPP, so let's all speak as our government. It doesn't make the parliament grow.
Not at all.
And it doesn't make us as citizens grow as well.
Get informed.
So we get the thing and all you hear, NDC is against it, MPP is for it. And then when the tables turn, NDC is for it, MPP is against it. I mean, what kind of...
And you know my refrain.
What kind of...
I always say that
going?
The opposition parties always see the good things or tend to identify the negative spot or the things that are really wrong with our system. Immediately they get into power, everything is right.
Yeah. And it's interesting the way they speak, they are so passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just the propaganda. It's just
it's dramatized.
Yeah. And they
you see the eyebrows
not seen
you see the eyebrows twitching. So you say, yeah, speaking,
but just turn the tables around. Turn the tables around. Yeah. So, Charlie, our MPs, you know me, I love our MPs so much, but I'm getting worried about this trend. You're not making us develop as individuals, as citizens of the country. Let's talk on the issues and let's stop politicizing everything. That's all I'm saying, because I get confused. All right, let's take back to the paper, still on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. UniBank insolvent, KPMG takes over. So Dr. Kwabena Dufo Jr., CEO of UniBank, is on the front page of the paper. And then Dr. Ernest Addison, the governor of the Bank of Ghana. This man, oh my God. I don't know. And insiders will tell you they didn't see this coming. So nobody knew this was coming. They just took the decision yesterday right there and then. National security was called. They said, Master, go and lock up the main office of the bank. KPMG takeover. It's almost like a movie, like we've been acting for a very long time. We will open up all the issues this morning here on the show. Also on the front page of the paper, only 2,000 out of 32,000 health facilities registered. What's that about? Story is on page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. And it says the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency has expressed worry over the failure of some health facilities to register with the agency as required by law to enhance health regulation. And that's where they say less than 2,000 of the estimated 32,000 health facilities have so far registered with the agency. And the Health Institutions and Facilities Act. So we have a law that is regulating this. But just like it happens in so many other sectors, we see it reflect. We have a beautiful law passed in 2011. People are supposed to come under this, and they haven't, and nothing is happening. And all the health minister will do is to re-echo and say, oh, they haven't done it, they haven't done it, they haven't done it. And we're still sitting here. We do stakeholder engagement. People drink a lot of coffee, a lot of tea, we drink water. Some people even get certain allowances, and we still re-echo something that has been put in a certain book, which is law, and people are supposed to enforce. So we are still here with this matter. We'll be here. We'll talk about it again. Center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, time to legislate and regulate roles of first ladies. Interesting story by Kosi Kedem. Says many Ghanaians secretly complain about the attitude and behavior of our first and second ladies, especially the former. They complain about their unnecessary and unsolicited interference in governance. According to them, they wield power without any obligation, accountability, or responsibility. Some argue that public functions and activities performed by first and second ladies are financed from the public purse and therefore must be accounted for. The 1992 Constitution gives them no official role to play as such, but somehow they have managed to acquire for themselves massive and limitless powers. So this is what I can read, but I tell you what, just beginning to read, it tells you there's a lot to come in this piece. So please get the paper and read about it. I think it's a conversation that we must have. We must talk about it as well.
Definitely.
And I think that we should definitely acknowledge them, because look at what Rebecca Kufuor did with us with Komfanoche. I mean,
Great initiative.
Yeah,
Great
they're very influential.
Took
I know
up
she's
what
doing
really JoyNews, all the media had started, and that's what we need to see. We need to see the elevation of what the agenda is, just beyond the mere rhetoric or the talk. And we tend to point out a lot of the ills we may find somewhere in the society, but the thing is, what do we intend doing about it? And it's also an initiative that shows that having that communal spirit and the complement of efforts.
We saw Lordina Mahama also give a lot to health facilities. I remember there was a lot of donations that she made as well.
But it also shows that there's a lot of money in Ghana, which I think that ultimately we've not been using well, that we could channel into better use.
And I think that, sometimes it works to the advantages of the first ladies, because, some of the institutions, they are chiseled, they won't give, because they want to be in the good books of either the president or whatever it is. When the first lady calls on them, they give.
And that's
so I say, first lady, please take advantage of it. Let them do things. They are too chiseled. So I totally agree. We should have a certain legislation and get them fixed through, because they're so important.
I agree.
They're impactful. Thank you for agreeing. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Concerted efforts needed to address countries' unsanitary conditions. And then police arrest cabby for bolting with luggage of American passenger. What's the story about? Story filed by Emilia Enim Abe, or Enin Abe in Accra, says a taxi driver who allegedly bolted with the luggage of a 70-year-old American from the Kotoka International Airport in Accra has been arrested. That's the picture of the guy, Stephen Mate. He's 32. He was arrested on his way to Denu in the Volta region 2 days after he had disappeared with a bag containing money and other personal belongings of the retired American contractor. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? All right. The law will handle him, so let it deal with him. All right, that's it for the Daily Graphic News.
So now let's do the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have enforcement of sanitation laws. And apparently, we're being told by the sanitation minister, who, by the way, was here just about two weeks ago, saying that 2,000 brigades will begin work next month. We know that it's the same next month that we're supposed to have the start of the issuance of the national ID cards.
They'll begin work next month. Okay, well, I guess the details. How sure are we that these people will not go collecting small monies from people and say, that kind of thing? I think that's our biggest problem.
Yes,
it's our biggest problem.
The thing is that when it comes to people and the collection of money, once the human interface is there, that is why technology tends to breed all that. So we have to introduce new devices, if it's a POS or through mobile money or some other means by which the human interface will be eliminated.
Ghana, people are wild. They would say, Masa, if I take you through the system, you pay more. So make you give me small. Make I let you go.
Yeah, and where we do some enforcement in the human element. They just steal.
And that's what we have to fix. That's what we have to. You can unleash like 2,000 of these guys into the system. But if they are corrupt, nothing will change.
And so corruption started from Adam. So from birth.
But you see, the point is, they must not even necessarily be corrupt. Most of us are. We ordinary people. So we will entice them. We would say, Oh, Masa, this is the first
That's why we
time.
don't pay the fines. Because the police won't pay the fines, so they say, Charlie, what if we mum in the court? Why? So, keep cool, so So more stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. So we continue. President leaves for Rwanda to attend AU summit, and just as always, Rwanda, we're told the capital Kigali is one of the finest, beautiful cities we have on the continent. I don't know what that.
If somebody bought me a ticket, I would love to spend a week in Rwanda and feel Rwanda. We've heard good things about Rwanda.
True.
Yeah. And relocate.
So it means that there's no place in
Mauritius too.
It means there's no place in Kigali that's dirty. Is that it?
I don't know. That's what they say. Okay. But I don't know. No, but I'm sure they've got some dirty places, maybe. Yeah. But I'm sure that they've got a system that also works.
Let's see how
they've got a buga. You people, you want to look through everything. You can't look through everything. Feely in Rwanda. You cannot. Yeah. You need a system like that sometimes.
Yeah, because they have the president who has had a hands-on approach, so he's been there for long.
Yeah,
so
you people, you say you want democracy.
Yeah, so every 4-8 years we change.
You want to talk.
So more stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Bank of Ghana takes over UniBank is there, page 17 of the paper. No U.S. military base in Ghana. Nito. That's what happens. Usually you don't talk a lot more about the stories that are on the front pages because we've dissected, bisected, done everything to them. So we tend to know the content just, so to speak, by heart. Back page of the Ghanaian Times is all sports. Referee Loughbridge banned for life, and then 2-day tourism travel conference underway in Accra. So those are the stories. We have the Finder though. Mama V is there, but before he gets ready for that, let me just do the dispatch. The dispatch says all you need to know about the Ghana-US Defense Agreement. That's on page 2 of the paper. Scenes from the British Parliament, typical of many parliaments. So just get to the front page. And the contents of the Daily Dispatch will be inherent in there. But Mama V, you have the Finder.
Yeah, I've got the Finder. I've also got messages. This one from Bismarck Senyo from Peki says, does that mean that the former administrators at UniBank don't know their work? Please, you people must educate me. Yeah, we will talk about this matter. I know. It also features on the front page of the Finder newspaper. So here we go. Bank of Ghana says UniBank is insolvent despite 2.2 billion Ghana cedis liquidity support from Bank of Ghana in past 2 years. Simply put, what it means is that they've been getting a lot of support. We've been pumping a lot of money into the bank to make a stand. So now KPMG is going to look at how badly the situation is, because if you're sitting outside, you may never know. And we know that some of these banks, they make their books look good. You have people who can make your numbers look good on the surface, but deep inside, there's rots in there. And I guess that's why KPMG is taking over as a neutral, somebody who's been appointed by the Bank of Ghana to look at exactly what the books really say, what it looks like, and they'll put it out there. We will all know, but we hope that, it speeds up. We've got people who are authority, if you like, when it comes to these situations. So we'll be speaking to a number of them this morning here on the show so we can all get educated. Still on the front page of the Finder newspaper, UniBank's fate hangs on KPMG probe, banking according to banking consultant Nana Otuo Echampong. And then no plan to establish military base in Ghana according to the U.S. Embassy. There's Robert Porter Jackson, who is the ambassador, the United States ambassador to Ghana. Yesterday they issued a statement. President urges governments to position for aviation boom, and then government clears 1 billion Ghana cedis NHIS outstanding debts. That story is on page 8. Certainly a bit of that on page 8. And it says, government has currently cleared 1 billion Ghana cedis out of the 1.2 billion debts left by the previous administration in the NHIS. Deputy Minister of Health Kinsley Abuaji Jedu has disclosed. He says government has, by dint of prudent management within the short space of 1 year, cleared 1 billion Ghana cedis out of the 1.2, but it still means that government still owes NHIS. And we still need a lot of money despite this having been paid if it is established that indeed this has reflected And I'm sure the hospitals will still tell you that they owe us not 3 months, 4 months, 6 months in some instances. And they've left some potholes so that if you go to last year, even though they've paid them maybe January, they're probably owing like November or something like that. Yeah, tutu.
So it means that they could pay for, let's say, the last 3 months, but would have been owing from September to December of 2017.
Yeah. I think they're even owing them in 2016. There's a certain month or months that they haven't paid. So like that. We've got the editor of the Finder newspaper, my friend Elvis Darko, joining us later
he's joining
morning.
us today.
He will be here this morning. You know, he gets a lot of filler. Actually, he's got filler on the banks. There are some. Remember that Dr. Baumia gave us a hint.
Yeah.
That if some of the about 8 local banks.
That was in 2016.
Yeah.
He said about 9 local banks.
And then we're told that UniBank was part of that. But you can't just go out there, either publish or go on air and be mentioning banks because, you know, you bring in stability in the system.
But is it not instructive to say that Dr. Baumia at the time was saying that it was because government owed contractors and all that? So,
well, they needed support.
Yeah, so if government owed contractors and all those monies haven't been paid and the banks now, then it means that government also needs to be soft on the banks.
Master, don't justify this.
Because
look at the details.
Many of them are because of NPLs, that's non-performing.
But look at what has been stated in the Bank of Ghana's statement on UniBank. To the extent that they've given them room and they've supported them, they've given them ways of going about things, but some of the banks simply ignore. So, yeah. Elvis Darko will be here, by the way, with a lot more filler for us this morning. You'll love it. That's it for the final newspaper. We've got which paper now?
Yeah, so we've got the Daily Guide newspaper as always. Many of the stories we know about, so we just keep them. The Bank of Ghana, no military base, but Sam George, he's a member of parliament for Ningo Pram. Talking about expired goods circulating in health facilities in this constituency.
Wait, hang on. So apparently he did a donation.
Right.
And then
that's the story.
That's the story. Okay. And it's coming out that the drugs that he donated were apparently expired. But there was we wanted to cross-check, and I think that's why it's not out there. There was somebody who said he was PA to him who had written something out there saying that they knew some of the dates were close to expiry, but they alerted the clinic that was to benefit, and they were to do the selection, something of the sort. It will be interesting to see if he himself has spoken on this issue. Is that what's in the Daily Guide?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Okay. That's the narration.
But is he talking about it himself?
No, he's not talked about. Meanwhile, Nike's at the facility. So this is what happened. He donated the items. We're told that among the items were hand sanitizers, face masks, fusion tubes, inhalation solutions. Some of them dating back expiration date 2016, and some of them just last 2 months, just January, etc. Some to 2017, October, April, and all that. So that's a concern for many residents, according to the Daily Guide. So that's the story. I don't know whether also you've been following I think you have been. You always do. So let me not just disgrace about Facebook. And there's a story that during the Trump campaign, they made available, or their data was, all of us are data. No, you don't Facebook often.
No, but it wasn't Ghanaians, Americans. They're looking for their target.
So they use the data of the individuals on Facebook.
They give it to a third party.
Yeah, they analyzed it and they targeted messages at them, etc.
Yeah.
I think that was a good strategy. It's just that people have the right to their own data, and Facebook needed to make sure that those data was protected in such a way that people's confidential information, or if it's even confidential at all, because it's already on Facebook. Yeah. The thing is that if you wanted to do it, you would have done it one by one.
So it was supposed to be for academic purposes.
Well,
and
that's
then
what
it was given to a third party. But the fact that I don't sleep on Facebook, Roland Walker, doesn't mean I don't know what's happening with Facebook.
No, I know what I also don't sleep on Facebook. I know what's happening on Facebook, but I think I'm better than you when it comes to
No,
that.
I won't challenge
because
you.
I
will not
go to
challenge you.
share and put some message once in a
You
while,
know
but I
what?
share often. I share people's messages.
I know my weakness. I know my weakness as a human being. You get what I mean? So if I can't, and that's why you complain about the phone and messages and things like that.
Yeah, you
I know my limits.
Because sometimes we need you to communicate something back, and
I
you
know
wouldn't.
my limits, and I stay within it. Yeah, I'm conserved when it comes to that. That's
Right.
fine. Yeah.
Now, it's on to you.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
So we go to the center spread, then you one pull out on the Daily Guy. It has Joycelyn Duma joins Joy FM. Did you see her yesterday?
No, I didn't.
You deliberately
Oh no,
ignored her?
how? But I heard the buzz about it.
Oh, okay.
And I heard in some quarters that she's going to be doing the Drive with Legs as well.
Yes, and then we'll have her own program. There's a show with Joycelyn Duma. It's going to be on the first and third Friday of every month from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Joy FM. Okay, we're told that
interesting. So tune in. Let's all support her.
Ultimately. CK Man dies at 85. I know a street in
83, Roland.
83. I know a street in Anaji named after him.
Yes,
I think I'm told
it's
that's
a very
where he
famous,
lives.
yeah,
CK
because his
Man's
house is
Avenue.
just by the side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a very. I mean, in fact, his name actually it makes the junction.
Yeah,
I think it's called CK Man Junction or something like that.
CK Man Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen.
It was polished. Then we were just calling it
CK Man Junction. Okay. Yeah, this one, you know.
But you just take a taxi, make a CK Man.
Okay.
You know, like and everybody knows exactly where you're going.
Nice. And we have a story about I founded a church out of frustration. I don't know whether you've seen
the I told you the fact that I don't sleep on Facebook doesn't mean I don't know what's going on.
So it means you've seen it. Yeah. It says I can say God did not call me to be a pastor, maybe for something else. Wow. And then he's quoted also saying, only a fool doesn't change his mind. I know what my strengths are. I don't feel like writing gospel music. Gospel is my belief, and I will not change from it. It is a belief I have in God. I won't change. But I don't think that God calls everyone to be a gospel singer.
I don't know. I think we should leave Oforian Ponser alone. He's playing a certain game. He feels this is what is workable for him. No, but seriously,
this is so self-indicting. It's not funny.
But that's what he wants to do, so leave him.
That's deceitful.
Let's see how
it means that we have pastors who have not been called. They're just doing it because they have to.
Oh, but you and I know.
All right, so let's go
Except
to my
that God hasn't revealed
we have only
it to
2
us,
minutes to wrap up. Today's a Wednesday.
We don't want to go. We've got AM business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the stories are there. I mean, it's one of those days that you know every story that will be on a page.
That's the two biggest story, really. Yeah. I think the number one is UniBank taking over from the
and then the military base is second.
Exactly. Those are the two biggest
Stability
stories,
of Ghana's banking sector undermined, but outlook positive. Bank of Ghana. Yo, I don't know why you write those English. Go on, Gomez.
Patrick Gomez.
So we have U.S. military. Next one could make Ghana a terror target. Introduction fears. GES Air to rethink stance against mobile phone use and in senior high school. And Ken Ashikbe, the chief executive officer of Telecoms Chamber, has called on the GS to reconsider. I think we need to have this as a great conversation and see maybe Friday. And see whether parents will allow their children to constantly be, or perhaps even the classrooms, if teachers will allow it, how that is going to be not a distraction or a distraction. Now, UniBank had been on life support for over a year. Now let's go on. Quickly just go through that. Unexplained clauses in God. Oh, Charlie, everything's about U.S. military. Go on.
Oh, but there's a
UniBank.
Hang on, let me take a.
Please take some
messages. No, so there's a video. Ace Ankoma posted a video about a training in Achiase, because there's this whole buzz about Ghana US. What's this relationship? They say it goes way back. This is the video that Ace Ankoma put on his Facebook page.
So they were training our people.
Yeah, no. Our people trained them. They went through the drill in Achiase. Just check this out.
No sound?
Oh, there is sound. Wait for it. So I think we've got a glitch there. We'll bring it back to you, but let's read some of your messages. Godwin Adepa in Sojaman sends a message. It says, allow Roland to put a smile on our faces by cracking some jokes. Have cast when he talked about
Yeah, the Canadian soldiers.
Okay, so this is it. The video is
they
playing now.
Expected a certain level of excellence. They have a standard that they expect us to meet while we're here. They weren't taking it easy on us. They weren't letting us slack or get away with anything. The major who runs this course, he doesn't play around. He has a standard he's set, and he expects you to meet it or exceed it.
I have really appreciated their way of lowering themselves to be taught. Some people come with other mentality, ideology, thinking that always superiority counts and all those things. But for now, I have really enjoyed the way they have been very sober to the instructors, and the instructors who have done very well by cooperating with them very well.
They've taught us jungle survival.
So there's more to that, you know.
Internet is just not.
Yeah, no stability there. So we will get you a lot more of that. But it's interesting. So this is a relationship.
We'll try and see whether we can replay the video.
This is a relationship that dates way back. I saw that you were really staring at a thing. Are you surprised?
No, I've seen a couple of them. You know, I live close to Bundasi, on that route, so it's not something I've seen you as.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Ace Nkuma was asking,
and I've been to the airport. I've seen their.
Ace was asking how this has changed the economy, and those who know Achiasi very well. I beg, if you're watching from Achiasi.
So he was against it or what?
I haven't said that. I'm just saying what he put there.
I don't think there's anything bad about it.
I beg, if you live in Achiasi, I'm sure you've seen the whatever. Please tell me how it has changed there.
It hasn't changed. I think the last time I went through Achiasi.
If they are being in Ghana and being in Achiasi has changed at least the community in any way, let us know. That's all we are saying.
Oh, wow.
And this message says, I think the Minister for Defense has no idea about USA's defense policies. Nanado should not joke with Ghana's sovereignty. A message coming from somewhere in the UK. Kindly include your name when you send us messages. We've got loads of your messages. Here's what we are doing today. The conversation is around all of us because we want to understand what is happening. So we will find time for every message that you've sent to us this morning. That's a promise.
We're
talking
going to open
UniBank.
Phone lines?
We will definitely open the
right.
phone lines.
Right.
So we will be talking a lot more here on the show. We have to make way, Roland, for Benedict.
Yes, Benedict is in with the latest sports stories.
Akwesi.
It's just midweek. And Akwesi Dankwa, Benedict Owusu, a.k.a. Captain Slim.